Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again, and I am playing a little bit of Bonney. I've been trying a couple of different deck lists at locals, as you guys have probably seen over the past couple uploads. We've had Black Yellow Luffy, Lucci, a little bit of Gecko Moria. I've got Bonney here, and I've also got an Enel deck built, so I'll probably play a couple games of that. But yeah, I'm just enjoying trying out a couple of different lists. I think that OP07 is very fun because there's so many different deck lists that you can run and a lot of different metas that you can try out. I am interested in trying out some blue as well at some point, so potentially either Boa or, you know, OP01 Doflamingo. Yeah, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, what do you guys think, you know, are some lists that you guys would like to see? I'm enjoying, you know, what I have going on, but, you know, I would love to hear what you guys' thoughts are. Double Spandom to start him off. Not too bad, getting some pretty useful cards in the trash for him, so all things considered, pretty solid. I'm okay with seeing 2 Spandoms as well as him whiffing on the first one is great for me. I am just going to go ahead and swing 5 though and get the Bartolomeo down. If he can't remove it this turn, then I will get to do a little bit of card cycle with Bonney, which will be really nice, but just kind of depends on if he's got the removal in hand for that on turn 2. And usually speaking, not too bad, but a 5k swing here is going to be taken pretty freely, and I've been using a slightly different Bonney list than what I've actually been trying out on the sim, so I can't really tell you that I'm not an experienced Bonney player by any means, so there are definitely some things that I do think that I could be doing better after, you know, looking at it, but I'm just trying things out, you know. I kind of want to test the list. This is one that was running the Bonney and Baby 5 engine, so the Supernova and Don Quixote family searchers. And I have another one that's just running the Bonney, but I will go ahead and tap the 2 to take a little search right here. Got a little scary. I thought I wasn't going to find something for a second, but I do end up picking up the Cavendish, which is nice. And now, I also get to card cycle with Bartolomeo. And I think I did this incorrectly. I think I trashed first, then drew a card. I think you're supposed to draw a card, then trash. So that's my mistake. But I end up trashing one and drawing one. But all things considered, I think I would have done the same play, if I'm being completely honest. But I swing 4 into the Spandom right here. I'll swing 5 into life, and then I can play out the Rosinante. And I do remember, because we played this game just recently, that I made a pretty big error right here, which is a little unfortunate. Knowing that my opponent is going to have that Lucci in hand, like, more often than not, I unfortunately just make a little bit of a small mistake, which you'll see here in just a second. But our hand is really nice. We have the 6-cost Basil Hawkins to play down the following turn. I've also got that Cavendish for some, you know, late game plays and late game shenanigans. Arguably saving my Basil Hawkins until I can do both Cavendish and Basil in one turn is usually pretty nice. But we are going to see a 5k swing. I do, what was it, a 5k swing, and then I rest the Spandom, and I block this, and then he just KOs. So had I actually not blocked and just let the Bonney go, or vice versa, let the Bartolomeo go, and when he played Lucci to KO my 2-cost card, I would have been able to use my Rosinante to protect both of them. So a little unfortunate oversight on my part, but yet again, I don't play the deck too often, so it was something that I looked at afterwards and was like, I probably could have done that a little bit better. But I get the Basil Hawkins down on turn 4. This is actually really nice for us because the card is very aggressive and defensive at the same time. He is just going to swing 5 here. I know that I can counter out very easily, or I can arguably just take. But I don't really want to take both of the Lucci and leader swing. So it's for me, it's boiling down to I'm okay with taking one of them. So if he does attack with Lucci, I'm fine with that. But knowing that there's an 8 cost looming around the corner, that is something to be weary of. He is going to swing 6 here, and I think... Oh, I rested that with my leader effect after that. And then he gets a good old-fashioned Moria down, playing out Khalifa and Spandam. This is a great value play for him. He gets to cycle out a bunch of his cards, pick up some new ones, and just kind of set up his turns for the following things. I think that a little bit of a misplay, if I'm being honest, though, in not using Spandam first and then Khalifa afterwards. Because if you go Spandam first there, you can at least, know exactly what your hand is looking like and then cycle out afterwards. But he unfortunately ends up trashing a Moria, so we're okay with it. We're pretty happy with that. I do get my 2 Dawn back. I've got 6 Dawn to work with, but I know that I am a little bit in a weird spot. Like, not too bad, but at the same time, like, I'm trying to be aggressive enough that I can go for game. And I get a 2k 1k out of my opponent's hand here. I will just reactivate the Arouge, and I don't swing with the Hawkins. I'm not a huge fan of this, but I don't think I had a ton of counter power in hand, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it looks as though I had maybe about 3k counter. I don't feel super comfortable in protecting my Basil Hawkins if he swings at it with Moria, considering, like, more than likely Arouge is going to die. So, I do get the rest onto the Moria, though, which is nice. And now he does end up changing this up. He realizes, oh yeah, I forgot about the 1 Dawn standing. So 9k swing into life. That seems like a pretty free take for me. I'm probably just gonna take this, and I end up getting the Bartolomeo off of that. And now a 7k swing. I can probably just rest the Basil Hawkins pretty comfortably. So I could just rest this, give a 1k, and we have a setup for my 10 cost Dofi the following turn. Dofi is always great when I know that he's probably just going to chain another 8 cost Moria here. I'm trying to be, like, as aggressive and defensive as possible. So yeah, I do end up just giving him that quick block, and then I'm deciding which 1k I want to use. I go with Baby 5. I think I'm fine with this. I just don't know if, like, I'm ever going to be able to get the Bonney down onto the board, since I'll be playing 10 cost Dofi the following turn. So it feels like Bonnie's just kind of meh right here. But huge play from him, getting the Moria Lucci Helmeppo combo off. So there goes my Cavendish and my Arouge. Hate to see it, but love to see that I draw into another Dofi. It's actually insane. Super helpful here. The trouble is that I was really banking on having that Cavendish for being able to reset my Dawn after playing Dofi. So I'm not going to be able to rest one of his attacks, which is pretty tragic for us. But I do just go ahead and do this again. Yet again, not swinging with Basil Hawkins just because I don't have a lot to defend it with. Like, I really want to keep the card on the board, but I genuinely don't think it's doing me any good. Just active right now. I know that it's not going to be removed. I know that more than likely my 10 cost Flamingo is safe from removal as well after he's dropped 2 Morias and 1 is in trash. But I'm kind of feeling the pressure because I know that I'm like a ticking time bomb right now, and getting through my opponent's board as well as, their life is really the tricky part. I haven't been able to do much damage. I haven't seen a Hody Jones yet, which is kind of tragic. I would have loved to see that card on curve. Just having that card on the board is really annoying for my opponent to deal with. 9k swing I will take. I finally get a 2k, so now I feel as though, like, protecting Basil Hawkins is actually possible. Very happy with finally getting that. We are going to see 3 attached to Rob Luch, though. And I know that if I rest my Hawkins and I give him a 2k, 1k, which is very possible, he could just swing into my Basil, and it looks like that's what he would have done. So we save a little bit of a card here. We go down to 0 life, which is pretty sketchy, but I give him a 2k and a 1k, and he plays down the stage finally. All right, so now Obviously, it doesn't feel like we're in a great spot. If I play 8-cost Kid, we're pretty much dead. Because, like, defending that is going to be really tricky. I finally draw into the Hody Jones as well, but it's just kind of a little too late. He's got plenty of cards in hand as well. I think he's got, like, 3 or 4 cards with 3 cards from life. So getting through... Getting through 6 cards for a final swing is going to be very difficult. But I do decide to do something a little different. I didn't think that he would prioritize keeping the Helmeppo. So then I go 7 into Khalifa and then 10 into Lucci. And I know that the odds of him running the Rush Lucci is very low. So I just play out the 10-cost Dofi. Even though I have 0 life, I freeze up his entire board. At least buying myself a turn to put down multiple blockers the following turn, or potentially go for game, you know? So I'm kind of just buying time right now. I'm like, please, just don't double blocker right here. And even if he does, I mean, we do have the Hody Jones, but he hits me with a value play, which is even worse for me. He hits the 2k counter off of the Spandam, and then Rebecca is just going to get back another 2k. So he adds 2Ks to his hand. My hand does not get any more counter power. Pick up another Hody Jones here. I am in shambles. I'm like, how do I survive? There are options, but they're not as good as I want them to be. I have obviously a Hody Jones play to try and go for game, but it gets really scary now that he just picked up 2 2k counters, and I know that he has multiple cards in hand as well as 3 in life. As Rebecca presents a problem too, because now I know, like, even if I try to go Hody Jones, I'm not gonna be KOing much, and he's got a 3rd Moria onto the board. So I take my time a little bit to think about this, and I think I end up deciding that I just have to go at life right now. Kind of hope that he takes at least 1 to 2, and if he does take 1 or 2 of them, I'm pretty happy, because, you know, it gives me a potential chance of defending with like the 8-cost Kid, and then going for game the turn after. So I'll swing 5 and I end up getting a Brook out of his hand. I don't think Brook's going to be really useful for him on the following turn, so I guess that doesn't really help me all too much, but just getting a 1k out is always nice. I think that what we're going to try and do here is, it looks like we're going to go Kid into Bartolomeo, and I'm deciding whether I should be saving the 1 Dawn to rest a Moria, or if I should be just playing the 2-cost Rosinante. And I just know that he can remove the Rosinante like very easily, and I think that's kind of my concern. Is if I just play that card out, yeah, it's not really gonna do me as much help as I wanted it to. But I will just go ahead and play the Kid, attaching the 1 for the Magnet and Rosinante. I'm not sure if... I don't think it really matters whether I play Rosinante or Barto here, just because leader effect just kind of gets there. But yeah, now it's an interesting game, because he's really got, like, this is the final turn. Like, he's got to end game here. If he doesn't, I'm pretty certain, like, just with Hody Jones alone, I win the following turn. Like, there's no way to defend against 2 10-cost Ophies, you know, a Basil Hawkins, and more than likely my Kid would be dead, but... yeah, I think, but he's looking great. I mean, he's got potential removal to the Rosinante. He's got 3 Moria swings. Obviously, 1 will get negated from the 1 Standing Dawn for my leader effect, but he's got plenty of plays here. It just really depends on what he has in hand, whether it's worth going for the Rosinante. But if I'm not mistaken, you know, we both took a little bit of time to think about, you know, final turns. How do we survive? How do we end the game? If I'm not mistaken, I think he does make a little bit of a blunder here towards the end of the match. I think that he went a little hard on the Dawn to remove certain cards that he didn't really need to, you know, play characters to remove. It could have just been done manually by swinging multiple annoying attacks with Gecko Moria. But, I mean, we have ourselves a pretty solid defense. It's just that with 4 cards in hand, I'm kind of bluffing right now. I'm really bluffing to my opponent that I have the ability to defend this, when in reality, I absolutely do not. Just having the 2 Hody Jones is, you know, very bricky in hand, and then I've got the 2 Bartolomeos, so... he is going to play down Khalifa to draw 2, trash 2. I think he does the -2 to the Eustace Captain Kidd, tap stage, bringing it down to a 4 cost, and now ends up using the Brook, which trashes my Kidd. And I was thinking for a second, like, wait, does Rosinante protect that? No, it only protects against KOs, not board removal itself. I do at least get the 1k out of the leader swing, and then I tap the Gecko Moria. So now I know that he's only got 2 more swings, which is 2 Geckos, and I can just block this, and I can just block that. Yep, and now he passes turn with a blocker. I've got Hody Jones, the 2 10 cost Flamingos, but I think if he had just went really heavy with the Morias there into Kidd, I think he would have had it. I think we got very lucky here at the end of the match. I'm going to go 10 to life. He's probably going to have the counter for that. Yep, 3 2Ks. And now, oh, I'm thinking about like the cards in hand. It doesn't really matter. We just swing 7, we swing 11, we pick up the match. Yeah, kind of a weird ending. You know, it was really interesting how it went out. Like, I don't blame him trying to go for it the way he did, but you got to put me on having a Hody Jones at least at some point in the game. So swinging into, and I think we talk about it here at the end, had he played the Lucci to just KO the Rosinante, I think he would have had multiple swings with the Gecko Morias that I wouldn't have been able to protect. And yeah, we just kind of go over it, you know, towards the end of the match, just talking about like how many swings could he have done, you know, attaching Dawn for certain things. You know, 1 Moria gets rested, so, you know, you subtract that Dawn since you won't need to use that. And I think we ended up doing the math, and if I'm not mistaken, he did have the game. So I would have had to block with this, and then he would have swung 10, and I would have had to leave that, and then he swings 9 with leader, and I would have lost. Yep. It was a really good game, but yeah, it just boiled down to that was definitely the correct way to go for it. But, you know, he put me on not having the Hody Jones, which I can respect. But hope you guys enjoyed the match. I would love to hear your thoughts. I definitely have some more Bonney games that I plan on playing at locals and uploading in the near future. Other than that, check out the description below for all the deck list information. Check out my website, all that good stuff if you want to get a playmat. Appreciate you. Have a great day. Peace.